Hey guys, Mr. AFK here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a new Smite guide, this time on Loki, who's probably one of my favorite assassins. He's easy to use, he's fun to use, so yeah, that's why I know he's a scumbag, but let's be honest, he's really fun to play. So let's get right into it. His passive is behind you. Loki deals more damage from his basic attacks when hitting enemies from behind him. So let's take a look at this real quick. So Odin, we're hitting from the front, looks normal. And from the back, you can see there's the dagger with the blood. That means his passive is working. The second part of his passive is his basic attacks also utilize a 5-swing progressive chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see the first hit and the last hit did a lot more damage than the hits in the middle. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to fight someone. Alright, so his first ability is Vanish. Loki disappears in a puff of smoke. While invisible, he moves faster, removes and gains immunity to slow effects, and takes 25% less damage. His next basic attack from stealth, or for 2 seconds after, applies a bleed to his target, dealing damage every half second and reveals Loki. So, this is Loki's bread and butter. Press a button and you're invisible. No one can see you, no one has any idea where you are, but they can still hear your footsteps if they're careful. Another thing this does is if you walk onto a habois carpet, for example, normally you'd be slowed, but if you're invisible, you just go right through it as if it wasn't there. Slows do not affect you while you're invisible. Another thing this does is, when you basic attack someone, it leaves a bleed on them that does a considerable amount of damage. So we'll just do it one more time. As you can see, it's got the cloud, you can see the numbers ticking. So that's Loki's main ability right there. That's the one I feel he'll be using the most. So his second ability is Decoy. Loki spawns a decoy version of himself that taunts all nearby enemy minions. After a short time, the decoy explodes, dealing damage to all enemies in the radius. So when you use it, that's what it looks like. It's got this ring around it. If you're inside the ring when it blows up, it will do damage, and it actually does quite a bit of damage. 275, and then plus, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but when you build Loki with power, it does quite a bit of damage. So it's not wise to stay inside of an enemy Loki's decoy. Alright, as you can see here, if we put it up near the minion will start attacking it. What that's good for is dealing damage to the minions while also being able to attack the minions without taking damage while using your passive. If you use the decoy on a full wave of minions, the enemy minions will attack the decoy. So just go invisible to move a little faster. As you can see, they're all fighting each other. Put the decoy up and they ignore the other minions and you, and then it blows up and kills all of them. So it's a very good lane clear tool. If you're ever in a lane by yourself, for example in Conquest, if you're a solo Loki, you'll want to prioritize leveling this up. The first couple of levels it's pretty weak and it has trouble dealing with the minions, but once it gets to around level 4 or level 5, then it can kill minions easily. So his third ability is Aim Strike. Upon activation, Loki's next basic attack does additional damage within a short time. The enemy hit is also slowed. So let's start this and make his daggers nice and shiny. When you hit the enemy, it slows them, plus it does a lot of instant damage. So that's pretty much all that ability is for. And then his ultimate, Assassinate. Upon activation, Loki teleports to his ground target location. If an enemy god is within the radius, Loki will backstab that target during doing damage and stunning them. So, as you can see, if it's not on anything, just teleports there. Oh, I got disoriented for a little bit. But if you were to use that ability on Odin here, it would put you behind him while stunning him, allowing you to start your combo. So anyway, while that recharges, I'll show you my build for Loki. I just have these 2 items right now to give me max cooldowns, so that way the abilities can be used faster. But anyway, first item on Loki I always get is Transcendence.
Blade in the dark.
It gives you some physical power, some mana regen, and its passive is you permanently gain 15 mana per stack and receive 5 stacks for a god kill and 1 stack for a minion kill with a max of 50 stacks. Additionally, 3% of your mana is converted to physical power. Pretty much, this is one of the most damaging items that a physical character can buy, and I think the number is roughly around 90-95 power fully stacked. Also, the mana it gives you is very nice for Loki because he runs out of mana really fast without it. So then the next item I get is Warrior Tabby. Gives you power and movement speed, pretty self-explanatory. Third item I get is Hydra's Lament. So the reason I get this is it gives you some cooldown, which is nice on Loki. Gives you a little bit of power, and its passive is for 8 seconds after using an ability, your next basic attack will deal an additional 30% damage. So, we use a Decoy, we can use Hydras. We use our aim strike, we get Hydras. Visibility, Hydras. And since they changed Hydras, you no longer have to wait for a 3-second cooldown. So, for example, wait 1 second here. Is that Hydras? Hydras, Hydras. So that's 3 procs of Hydras in just a couple of seconds. Oh, whoops. And then the next item I get is Jotun's Wrath. Gives you some power, some more mana for Transcendence. Gives you a little bit of physical penetration, not much. And then it gives you cooldown reduction, which is why I get this item. So now, oops. Now your abilities come off cooldown a lot faster than they did before, which is extremely useful. Plus, the little bit of penetration is good against people with no armor, so keep that in mind. Ah, I did it again. Alright, so then my second to last item is Titan's Bane.
No one will see this coming.
Gives you a little bit of power, and it makes all of your physical attacks gain 33% physical penetration. Meaning someone has armor, this will slice right through it.
I'm over here.
So if Odin had armor there, we'd be doing a lot more damage than we have been doing. Alright, so this last slot is what I call the situational slot. What it does is, for example, if you're playing Joust, and the team comp for the enemy team is Ho Yi, Habois, and Ymir. What I usually do is I get a Magi's Blessing.
Now you see me, now you don't.
So that way you can... Let me start over. So if Ymir tries to stun you, or Ho Yi tries to stun you, or Habois tries to knock you up, this shield will save you from one of those. So if a Ymir tries to freeze you, you lose the shield, you take the damage, but you are not stunned. This is a very useful item if you want to try to get in and kill someone that's being puppy guarded by Ymir, for example, or a Kumbhakarna. It's very situational, though. I haven't been using it recently. I've been learning how to wait for the Guardian to leave whoever they're guarding. But if you absolutely need it, it is a good item to get for Loki. Another item you can get is Brawlers Beach Stick. It gives you some power, it gives you some penetration, and it makes it so enemies hit by your abilities have 40% reduced healing and regeneration for 8 seconds. Useful for dealing with healers. You can get the Crusher. Same power and penetration as Brawler's Beat Stick, but the passive is each basic attack against towers and phoenixes grants a stack that increases your attack speed by 10% and physical penetration by 5 for 2 seconds. Max 5 stacks. So this is what you want to buy if you want to take out towers and phoenixes really fast. Since Loki can put a decoy up underneath a phoenix, it'll distract the phoenix. You go on, you just start beating on the phoenix. With the crusher, you're just destroying it really fast. Another item you can get is stone cutting sword.
No one will see this coming.
This gives you 50 physical power, 10% movement speed, and its passive is your melee basic attacks decreases enemy physical protections by 10 and increase your physical protections by 10 for 3 seconds. So what this does is it's a penetration item. It's not that great against people with armor, but against squishies, it is really good. Plus, if you're boxing a hunter or something, it makes you slightly tankier if you can land hits on something. So that's a good item to have. If you want, you can get Bloodforge instead.
No one will see this
Gives you 75 power, 15% lifesteal, which really doesn't matter in Loki, and it's passive, which is why you'd want to buy this item. Killing an enemy god forges a shield from their blood with health equal to 200 plus 10 per player level for 20 seconds. While the blood shield is active, you gain 10% movement speed. So let's go kill Ra, just to show you what this does also. Alright, so as you can see, there's the red shield around him. He moves faster. He's got quite a decent amount of health down here. So it all comes down to preference, what you like to build, how you play. I personally like stone cutting sword.
No one will see this coming.
You keep that movement speed forever. It's not just if you kill someone, so if your invisibility is down, you're still either as fast or faster than them. And it's got almost the same amount of power, so it's not a bad item to have. But anyway, let's go see how well this does. The ult's still on cooldown, so I'll show you how his normal abilities stack up against here. So as you can see there, I killed him in 3 hits. I used Hydras every time. Alright, now let's see how well we do for behind. And I'm pretty sure the bleed damage would have killed him if we had let it, but as you can see, Loki does insane damage. The best combo Loki can do is either that, where he'll ult basic attack, aim strike basic attack, invisibility basic attack, decoy basic attack. So you're proccing Hydras as many times as possible while dealing an insane amount of damage. So let's go get some mana back. But in the end, Loki is one of those assassins that you just don't want to see if you're a squishy character. As you can see right here, bam, instantly melted. I will say, I don't feel Loki is OP by any means. Hard CC like stuns, mesmerizes, roots really destroy him. Odin's Cage is another thing that just decimates him. The only way for him to get out of Odin's Cage is to teleport. Well, that's his ultimate ability wasted, to get out of Odin's Cage, which comes up, I don't know, every 30 seconds. Meanwhile, you have to wait 58.5 seconds for this. So, Loki is a very strong assassin, but he has no team presence. He can't really help his team out too much. He can only whittle down one target at a time. But he does have very good target elimination if you want to get that one mage out of the way, the one hunter. He can do that pretty efficiently, and he's also great for backdooring, taking out Phoenix's towers. He's also a Titan shredder, so. But yeah, that's my guide for Loki. If you enjoyed this guide, or if it helped you learn how to play and build Loki, be sure to leave a like on the video. Comment down in the comments who you want to see me do next. I have plans in doing Hades next, but if someone has a request, I will do the request first. Yeah, so that's it for the guide. Be looking for more videos in the future.